we'll do a common law talk next Sunday, right? I think what would be great now is just to throw out a few which we know as, I don't like the word facts, as truths, which you can go and check, okay, to sort of lead you into next week's chat. So if anyone does watch this and wants to check any of it out before next week, so starting with one that Harry's already touched on, the birth certificate. Now, I'm a parent. I've got 2 kids, okay? When both of my children are born, myself and my wife signed a bit of paper that actually surrendered ownership of our children to the state. Every single person out there who's a parent, you did the same, okay? And it's because of that, and it's only because of that, the social services can come and take your children only if they have that copy of the birth certificate, because that's all it is. It's a bit of paper that you sign as, like I said, look at your birth certificate. It's split into 2. You've got the human sovereignty and then you've got the corporation of that person, or legal fiction. You'll see that any government or any official, any council, anything you get lettered through your door, you've got a title and your name's in capital letters. That is not you, the human. That is you, the corporative entity, the fiction, completely fictitious entity, which is how they take money off you unlawfully. We're not even going to say legally, because legally is part of the legal system. The legal system is not the lawful system. It is a complete different system. So legally, they take your money, which is unlawful. And what's more important, the law or legalities? It's the law every single time. And it's knowing and getting just a basic understanding of your rights will change your life. So that's one thing, Harry. Go on, do you want to plant? And I've got loads to say, but when you...
Well, just what James said, effectively, you don't own your kids. You signed your kids to the state. That's how scary it is. And just to give an example, James is working with a 15-year-old girl at the moment, and she's going through this whole ordeal with her family because she didn't want to do a cancer treatment. And the NHS, again, another corporation, have now threatened her, or they did threaten her, with the social services. And they threatened...
They actually carried out the threat. They contacted the courts. They contacted the courts and the social services, and they've literally got the bit of paper there saying, and this is where it becomes so sickening. They'll tell you, if you now don't come and sign this bit of paper just to rub salt in the wounds, we're going to take your child, and guess what? You're going to have to come in and sign this bit of paper to enforce us being allowed to take your child, but you haven't got any choice. You're going to have to do it and put your child, a 15-year-old girl who is healing from cancer, tumour shrinking, through a forced round of chemotherapy that she didn't want to do in the first place, all because of the birth certificate.
Mm-hmm. So you've got, so for example, you have parking tickets, or you have private parking places that you go into, and they'll give you a parking ticket, and they'll send you a letter through the post, and the letter, your name will be in capital letters. That's not you as the person, as the individual, but the capital letters is the organization, and they threaten you and they put fear into you that you have to pay this parking ticket. You don't pay it, then it goes up to the next one, it goes up to the next one, then they send this court letter, we're going to take you to court. All of this is not lawful, so you're not entitled to pay it, but they will threaten you to the point that they can even then send bailiffs to your house. Again, this is against the law. But because this is so intimidating and people don't know, when it gets to court letters and bailiffs coming around to your house, all right, I'll pay. And not only are you paying what that fine was, you're paying additional fees on top, which they're all fake. A private land is an agreement with you and the landowner, but I haven't signed anything. Yes, I parked on there, but it's the road. I haven't done anything illegal, I haven't broken anything. But now they're threatening you with all these payments, and people pay it. And when a bailiff comes to your house, They have no entitlement. Again, they're just another human being. They're not entitled to come into your house or take anything away. So just to know your rights on that. If a bailiff ever does come to your house, have your keys on you, step out the door, close the door behind you. There's nothing they can do. They can't touch you. You haven't agreed to anything, and you're protected from that.
And I can tell you from experience, I took on the whole court system of the bailiffs, because they've got a specific court system which is not even a court. It's based in Northampton. It's called Northampton County Court. There is absolutely no court. There's no judge there. It's a call centre. It's an actual call centre. And I didn't take them on to be difficult. I took them on because I knew something in my soul told me, hold on, I have no interaction with you people, and all of a sudden you've sent me a letter saying that you're going to turn up at my house and take my things. Just inherently, I knew, no, that's not right. So then, yeah, I had to study something called legalese. Okay, now legalese is a real language which is English, which is literally made up of opposites. And I'll give you an example. When the police pull you over, they'll ask you, do you understand? Do you stand under? As soon as you say yes, you have submitted in legalese your rights to now stand under that person and whatever they do next. When, as Harry said, you'll get a court letter, you must attend court. Must literally means may. It's an invitation. You turn up to that party thinking you have to go. I'm here. You don't have to be there. Again, you think any of this is out there, look into it. There is is it the Blackstock Law? Is it the Blackstock? I think it's the Blackstock Law Dictionary. These people, this is how twisted it is. They've got a whole dictionary of legalese, of the words that they know to use to entrap you. Because that is what the legal system works on, entrapment. That's it. They entrap you into things. You are not, you don't have to put your foot in any of those traps. None of them. You can walk head held high through the lot. And no one can tell you, oh, you should just pay your tickets. No, you fucking shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. Because they're against the law. Oh, you shouldn't speed. Yeah, you shouldn't speed. You should be careful. I agree. I'm not arguing that. But I don't need to be charged to know, oh, yeah, I shouldn't speed. Oh, they're going to give me... And then they incorporate a point system. A fucking point. 3 points and a fine. All against the law. And you sign it off. Yes, I'll take those points. No, I don't acknowledge it. You literally don't have to acknowledge any of it. You don't have to give any of it credence. Why? Because it's not against the law. Nothing involved in that system, in that setup, is anything to do with law. As long as you've not hurt anybody, as long as you've not stolen anything from somebody else, basically, to sum it up, as long as there is not a victim of your actions, if there is no victim of any of your actions, then guess what? You've broke no laws. And again, for people that say the whole, yeah, in our country, this doesn't happen. Let me tell you this. Whilst the Great Fire of London was going on, okay, and again, look into the sketchy theories on how that started. Whilst people were dying in the streets, the whole of London was on fire. What was going on in the House of Commons in Parliament? I'll tell you what's going on. They borrowed a French act and implemented it into the UK system. Go out and do your research on this if you think I'm talking bollocks. This act, in layman's terms, declared everybody dead. So they just wrote this act. Right, that's it. London's on fire. I know what we're going to do. We're going to declare everybody dead. And we're going to give them a time frame where if you come back within the next 2 weeks or 2 months? Let's say 2 months after them declaring this act, which was in French. So not many people understood what the fuck it said anyway. Okay. They said, if you come back and let us know that you're alive, then okay, we'll give you back your sovereignty. Otherwise, you and all your belongings belonged to the state. That's a fact. Go and look in history. Whilst London was burning, they passed an act. And for children, to get round the whole war, but what about children? You know, well, can't do this to kids. They said, okay, as long as up to that child was up to 7 years old, if they came back before their 7th birthday and said, oh, I'm alive, okay, we'll allow them to be alive on paper. That's happened. And to this day, that act still stands. Look into it. How disgusting is that? How disgusting is that? Knowing that the thing is, all these politicians, all these parties, and you can even think about it, they call them parties. What party? Are you going to parties? All the fucking party that you're being invited to and everything. You don't have to turn up for these parties. You don't. Stick to your family party. Vote for your family. Stick with them. Stick what you know. Because all of these politicians are aware of